Hi, welcome to our Facebook Live event in celebration of Give Big 2020. I am hoping there are some people watching, and I'm so super excited to have you join me because you are the first people, the first visitors to see the aquarium this year. And we, despite the changes and the shutdowns, have had a lot of things going on. Sorry, I'm having a few technical difficulties. The device I was going to use decided not to connect, so I'm on a different one. So bear with me. This is our first time doing a big event like this, and it's kind of exciting, but also a little nerve-wracking. I'm a little bit more comfortable with the technology of pumps and aerators than I am with the technology of social media. So thank you so much for supporting science, for supporting science education, and supporting the Marine Science Center. It's just an amazing place, and I'm so happy to be part of this community. Our goal today is to raise $20,000 to support us. So if you've not already done a donation, you can do that on our Facebook page. You can find it on our website. You can go to the Give Big website as well. And please just do what you can to help us keep going. I should be hopefully joined in the comments by two of my coworkers, Marley and Brian. So if you have questions and I'm not able to answer them right now, then they should be able to answer. Marley's on hand for any of the aquarium questions. And if you have any questions about the donation process, then Brian is around to answer those questions as well. Because I am, of course, here alone in the aquarium. My arm is probably going to get completely exhausted by holding this phone up. But you know, being safe. Hey, somebody said hi. Hi, Jay. So please, love to see people writing things in the comments. You can just come on with questions if you've got questions. And love to make it as interactive as though you guys really were here with me. Like I would love to have you really here with me, but it'll happen again soon. Hey, Ruth. So we just love science education, and I'm going to show you a little bit about how that's kind of been unfolding this spring in our aquarium. So it's beautifully sunny outside. It is definitely spring, and it is also definitely spring in the water and in the aquarium. So kind of your real typical symbols of spring are the bunnies, the fluffy chicks, flowers, and all of that is just reproduction. And it's all about reproduction because it's the increased sunlight, feeding plant growth, primary production, everything gets going. And it's the same thing in the water. In the water, our main source of primary production is coming from our phytoplankton. Shout out to all of our sound toxins volunteers who do the phytoplankton monitoring for us. Those folks know in the wintertime, we don't have a lot happening in phytoplankton. It is few and far between. And then when summer comes, the phytoplankton just blooms, explodes, and it's amazing the changes and how you can just watch spring come to the marine environment. It is a lot of fun. And as all of this phytoplankton starts ramping up in the water, all of the zooplankton starts ramping up too, because it's eating the phytoplankton. And then everything that wants its babies or young to feed on that zooplankton and that phytoplankton, they all time their reproduction to just have this big bloom that hits in the spring and the summer. So you just get all sorts going. Earlier in the year, we see a lot of reproduction in the tanks with our broadcast spawners that live in the tanks, like the anemones. I know we've definitely been putting some things up on social media. We've done some funny little stories and things. Look at the Instagram stories highlights if you've missed on any of it, with sea stars and urchins and anemones spawning earlier this year. And then we start getting all of our fish spawning as well. We've had our padded sculpins have laid 9 clutches of eggs, which is just totally crazy. And they're all like bright raspberry blue. And our buffalo sculpins lay huge clutches of kind of these purple eggs, and that has just all been coming out. I'll show you a little bit more and help you a little bit more about all those sculpins. And I wanted to start out with, well, first, please notice our water. Just like the water outside, the phytoplankton started blooming, the water has started clouding, and that has come into our tanks. Murphy's Law says the water had to cloud right when I was planning on showing people what everything looks like for the first time. But that's how it goes. In the marine environment, you can never be certain what is going to happen around here. There's always the unexpected, and that's part of what makes it exciting. Also, nerve-wracking. But I wanted to show you first one of our gravid or pregnant females. She featured largely in the Give Big campaign. Marley did this great photo of one of the China rockfish, and then Brian turned it into this great header. And so, okay, let's go and find her, and we'll see how she's doing. I'm gonna flip this camera around so that you can see things that are better looking than me. All right, here she is. Oh, she knows you guys are watching. There was definitely an eye twitch there. I'm gonna come around this way. And it's a little hard to really tell, but you can see a little bit more of a tummy bulge there right now. And here is what I hope is our proud papa right over here. So here she is. Now, she should probably give birth, and they don't lay eggs. They do live birth, and that should probably happen late June, early July. They're really interesting. They give live birth to microlarvae, so they're not as big as the perch that we see born here in the aquarium live as well. And every year so far, we have missed them, because they will be gravid one day and will come in the next day, and they're no longer gravid, and we have never seen one of the babies in the 2 years that this has happened. I feel like she's just like turned and put her eye over here on us right now. It's great. This year, Marley is going to be constructing a really awesome plankton catcher that's going to be small enough to go into the tank itself and be passively collecting plankton overnight. So hopefully one day we'll come in and have a whole bunch of China rockfish babies and see what we can do with that. This is the China rockfish. It is a local species, of course, not so much right within the Puget Sound, but as you go out on the Straits of Juan de Fuca, loves the kelp forests. You'll find it out on the coast a lot too. Beautiful fish. Oh, there is our kelp greenling swimming by for a visit as well. All right, now I'm gonna take you over to some of our other tanks. We did get just a few new pieces of collecting equipment over the winter. One of them was a brighter fishing light. Fishing lights are really helpful for collecting a lot of the schooling fish that are phototaxic, meaning they are attracted to light and they make movement in regards to light. I'm gonna flip you around here again. All right, so here is one of our seagrass tanks. We have 2 seagrass tanks. This one is got a little bit more of a rockier substrate, and we're focusing on the surf grass here, whereas the other tank focuses on the eelgrass. And as you know, the seagrasses are super important as a nursery for a lot of fish and also home to schooling fish. So what you see swimming around largely in the tank here are our tube snouts. Love them. It's always nice to have some big, obvious swimmy fish, I call them technically, very technical term, to draw people's attention. But then you want to come in closer and start observing some of the other things. One of the reasons that we wanted to do a rockier substrate tank like this with the surf grass was to really be able to highlight some of our hermit crabs. They love to play king of the hill, and this one likes to show off by climbing the water inlet pipe, which I think is hilarious. The other ones usually play king of the hill on some of the feature rocks in here. So let's take a look. Right there is one of our gunnels. We've been able to add quite a few gunnels to this tank. I also see a 3-spine stickleback right there in the corner. And if you look around in the background and you keep on looking, you'll start seeing more, oh, beautiful swimming, more of the gunnels kind of hiding around, poking their heads out from underneath the algae. And I gotta say, there is definitely a lot of algae this time of year, and a lot of it in the tanks, especially without our beloved home crew volunteers. Let's see if we can get a decent look at this guy here. Hey, we have a 4th grade class joining us. That is so awesome. Fantastic. Excited to have you guys here. Okay, I was trying to show one of our things that looks like a tube snout, but does not. Oh, what does a gunnel eat? It does eat a lot of small crustaceans. So we do give them our local krill species, which we buy frozen, is a big part of their diet here. There's another one of them right there. And in the wild, they'd also be eating a lot of the small crabs, gammarid amphipods, larval fish. Speaking of larval fish, let's move on over to our eelgrass tank. Let me see. Okay, let's start up here. Now, takes a little bit of watching, but hopefully you can see some of these larval or juvenile gunnels. They are pen point gunnels. They're the same green as the eelgrass, and these are little guys, and they are wrapped around, entwined around that eelgrass. See a pipefish coming up on the side there too. Fantastic. Whoa, where's another one? Oh, there's another one of the pipefish. We are very excited that this year we have more pipefish than we have ever had. And we also have all of these fantastic little baby juvenile and larval fish. And that's because of this really interesting new science project and research project that we're getting to take part in. It is a light trap survey. Its goal is to, here's some of the guns. The goal of the project is to be able to monitor the megalopy of Dungeness crabs, which are also really common in our eelgrass. And the light trap also collects a whole bunch of other things. And so while we're monitoring for these crabs, we are also taking advantage of some of the other things that we've been able to pull out of the trap, like these pipefish and these little gunnels. And then over here, let's see if we can find one. Oh, there's a little one floating by right there. Moving too fast to get a focus on. We can't see its head, which is a little disappointing. But this little guy here in the middle of the frame is a silver-spotted sea raven, also known as a silver-spotted sculpin. It's going to grow to about 9 inches long eventually. I think we have, we can get you a head and a tail, just not on the same animal here. So there's his head of a different one. Sorry, I am trying to show things and explain the light trap at the same time. So Catherine asked, monitoring the what? So the trap is made to monitor the megalope of the Dungeness crab. And it's a project that is done in cooperation. Whoa, he just went after something with quite a few of the tribes, Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, ecology, a few nonprofits, and this year we are taking part of it as well. Okay, now, hold on with me for a second here. Okay, so when you're this small, you, like me, have to eat, not that I'm small, but I do have to eat several times a day, and so do these guys. So I have this mix here. We're giving them a variety of different things in their diet. So I've got rotifers and brine shrimp that we grow in our own live feeds hatcheries here, as well as some wild amphipods, which would be their natural food outside, all mixed up in here with a little bit of a prepared diet as well. And I'm gonna pour this in and see what everybody does. Okay, here goes the food. The big chunks that you see falling are some of the mats that the abalone, the amphipods form. All right, I'm starting to see some activity going on over here a little bit more. Things are kind of flipping around, livening up a little bit. So this kind of snow that you see coming down is the mixture of different foods. I also have a few little hermit crabs in here as well. Ooh. There we go. Now we got some focus there. All right. We've had a look up in the eelgrass. Now we're going to go down to the bottom. So right here. All right. Does anybody know what this object is? It's a loofah. It has all these nice crevices, which make a great home for growing some of these amphipods that they like to eat. But sitting up here on top are a few juvenile sculpin. Some of these came in as larvae and have now settled down. Technically, a juvenile is a tiny adult and looks like an adult, just not sexually mature, whereas a larva is in a slightly different form. For most of these guys, the larvae are up, around, and swimming while the juveniles settle out on the bottom. Oh, there's the pipefish. Okay, there are so many of these little cuties. Okay, here, there. Now that is a 1-inch inlet pipe for the water system. So you can see that the total length of this guy is less than 1 inch. And I want to say he has grown very nicely since coming here. Oh, the food is starting to reach the bottom, so I'm starting to see a little bit more activity down here along the bottom. Let's see if I can get some good baby sculpin shots. We got a few. We've been really working on our rearing capabilities this spring. Over the last summer and fall, we've been working hard on figuring out the first step, which is raising live food for them, so improving rotifer and artemia production. And now, with everything hatching out, we got a few simple supplies and have been able to start trying to rear things So we have now in our back buffalo sculpin that will not quite as big as these guys yet. They're so small I can't even really show them to you on the phone. There's a little crabby right there. But it's really great that we are able to sustainably start supplying our tanks with fish that we're breeding right here in the aquarium. Now there is one of our larger pipefish. He has been with, or she, I think it's a he though, has been with us since last summer. All right. Oh, there's a almost see-through sand lance. Nobody else is really wanting to come up. Okay, and over here, I think they want a little snack over here too. Let's see if we can get some interest going. Okay, so people were asking earlier about the gunnels and what they eat. Small crustaceans mainly, which for us is Krill pacifica. That's our local species. Here, I'm getting a little bit of it together here. We're able to buy this frozen so that we have it as a nice steady diet for our animals. So let's put a little bit in here and see. There we go. One of the fun things about the light trap now is that we're actually catching some of the Krill pacifica live in our light traps, which is really great to have the confirmation that this really is a local food that is a part of their natural diet, which is great for health and great for sustainability. Sorry, I'm bumping the camera around a little bit. Oh, too bad our water quality is just a little bit murky. Hear that surge tank going in the background? Yes, I saw somebody asked about the pipefish. Yeah, they are literally from under the pier. They are from our light trap, which literally hangs underneath the pier. Pretty much everything is from within a few miles of here. We do get a few further collections. Okay, the food is reaching the bottom. It has drawn out some of our gunnels. I saw a few people saying how much they liked them, so we'll come back here for, oh, if I can work the camera. Okay, now you see coming up, looks like a gunnel, but that is actually a prickleback coming up along the side there. Oh, everybody is. These ones want to know what's going on with the camera. Somebody else is coming over. Oh, you have caught their attention. So we have got some saddlebacks in there, saddleback gunnels. Yep, I'm seeing saddlebacks right now. I love the way that this one over here just keeps on moving his head around. I'm like, what? The three spine stickleback are in the background there. Okay. Oh, this one is just so pretty, we have to look at it. Oh, come on, focus. Ah, it's beautiful green. Oh, I have to pull back so you can see that all along the edge here, all the gunnels are coming out, wanting their food. I shall oblige. This crab, I always am worried he's going to fall off this thing. And I used to come and gently pick him up and move him down. And I have given up. And he just kind of stays up there now. Or her. I do not know. Right. Speaking of piers and pilings, of course we have our piling tank. Not that much has changed over the winter about this tank. I'm so glad to say that these shiner perch have been with us for 3 to 4 years now. Some of them for less long because they were actually born right here. And I'm excited about the growth of our white-spotted greenling, doing really well. This was a juvenile fish pulled in last summer and came in last summer at about an inch long and is now, I'm going to say, maybe around 7 inches. All right, put some krill into here too. There, oh, he's quick. That right there is one of our moss head sculpins. He's got this great little buzz cut. He likes to just quickly dart out for food. There he goes. There's our painted greenling. We've got his attention now with the food. He's coming out. Do know that that one is a male. We would love to get a female to pair with this one. Maybe this will be the year that we get one. I love seeing how our fish grow and change because it's just a really nice sign that they are getting the nutrition and the habitat needs met, and they are not overly stressed, and basically that we are giving them a good life. So I always find it really gratifying to watch them grow and reproduce and thrive, as it means that we're doing a good job. All right. And over here quickly, we've got our pollock, of course. Speaking of growing and thriving, why these guys just, oh my God, I cannot believe how fast they grow. Just, they're so huge. And down there at the bottom, you see tiger rockfish. He's been doing really well. We recently moved some of the larger pollock out of his tank because they were kind of being a little too competitive for food. And I think he's enjoying that. He's been exploring a bit more. Okay, well, I was talking a little bit earlier about spring and the phytoplankton blooming, and of course there are other photosynthetic organisms in the marine environment as well, especially our bull kelp makes up our kelp forests. And in the spring like this, so the bull kelp, unlike the giant kelp, tends to be an annual. And so in the spring, we start getting all of these little tiny bull kelp. Raise your hand if you love baby greens. I definitely do, and we definitely get that. So I'm going to turn you around again. All right. So here are like bull kelp baby greens. Pulled this up just about an hour before this broadcast. And this, oh dear. Put that in the blooper reel. This is a really sweet little tiny bull kelp. Its fronds are about 3 feet long, and its stipe was maybe, wow, before I broke it just there, was maybe 4 feet long, which is tiny for an algae that grows up to 60 feet. And the other big lovers of baby greens are our abalone. So these are our adult abalone. Yesterday, about 600 of our juvenile abalone left here to go to Puget Sound Restoration's facility. And from there, they are going to be released back out into the wild to replenish the reduced populations of our endangered northern or pinto abalone. But these nice guys, these ones are staying here with us always. We'll get another round of the young ones later in the year. Let's see, these guys. Usually they give a very nice response to the tender young kelp. Okay, I see some perking up here. Oh man, no command performances from the abalone. Oh, I know what their thing is. I had to turn off the water flow a little bit to compensate for our poor water quality earlier. Not poor in the sense of anything dangerous to the animals, really, just poor in the sense of turbidity. And these guys do like flow. Okay. Oh, now they're active. Okay, this one is, I'm starting to, I don't know if you can really tell, but they're starting to rear up in there, move around a bit. You can see their foot coming out as they want to reach and grab that kelp that's floating by. Oh, this one's got some. Okay, he reached out, kelp was swirling around. There we go. They do not want to eat unless they have good flow near them. Awesome. Oh, these ones are lifting up now. I usually make dinosaur rearing kind of imitations, but I'm too embarrassed to do it now. Yeah, they are moving fast for abalone. Sometimes I see those little ones just really cruising around the tanks in there. They can be surprisingly fast sometimes. Big feet. So anybody who is not very familiar with abalone, they are marine snails. These are the pinto or northern abalone. They are listed as endangered in the state of Washington, and we are part of a program together with Puget Sound Restoration Fund and the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife that rears abalone and releases them back into the wild to replenish our wild populations. Oh, this one, he so wants it. He's so close. He's so close. All right, I'm going to make it a little bit easier on them all and throw the rest of this kelp in. Okay, they get to enjoy that. And of course, they're not the only vegetarians that are enjoying the kelp. All of our urchins are munching on kelp and enjoying it all at this time of year. Limpets. This is a fun one over here to watch because you can see him from his foot side. He's puckered up. He knows he's going to get some. down the drain. Oh, there he goes. Yes, oh, reach for it. Oh, Deb, this is little buddy, the grunt sculpin. Oh, Deb, do I have news for you? So right here is, okay, there's Shortcake. Looking good, doing well right there. And Strawberry has like tripled in size since the fall. But Strawberry, I don't know if we're going to be able to see because Strawberry likes to hide right under this pipe. Oh, there is a Strawberry back in there under the bryozoans, but you might not be able to see this little grunt sculpin. I'll focus on Shortcake here while I'll tell you my amazing grunt sculpin news, which is that in the back room in one of our larval rearing tanks, we have a dozen baby grunt sculpins, which is, they're incredibly cute. I so wish I was actually showing them to you, but I am super excited by the thought of having this tank full of a happy colony of grunt sculpins later this year, and having everybody come in and see how amazing and adorable they are. Such really funny animals. I do love the odd, I mean, I love all the animals, but I do love the oddball ones like the grunt sculpins especially. That, I think, is everything that I had sort of planned. Does anybody have any special requests of something they'd like to check in on? Anybody missing a certain animal that they need an update on? Oh, I was asked about some of our buffalo sculpins earlier. So this year we were successful in raising some of our buffalo sculpins from eggs that were laid here in our tanks, and they are now about 1 centimeter long. They have settled on the bottom. They are juveniles. They've made it past the larval stage. They're too small for me to be able to show you well on the camera, but I will show you guys the parents in case anybody doesn't know how awesome the buffalo sculpin are. Okay. Oh, I mean, they are hard to make out when I don't have a reflection issue, but there is our matriarch, who is Billy, and kind of actually cuddled up with Billy is another one right there, looking right at us. And there's another buffalo sculpin right there. So we have 2 females and 2 males. And both females, I don't know if you guys can really get the color on this one here, but it's colored to match the Christus coral and algae right there. It's just a really beautiful one. Okay, I've had a few more requests come in. So on my list right now is Pinky and Nudibranchs. Let's see. Well, I haven't collected any more sea lemons for the year yet. But right there, we have one of our voluntary nudibranchs that just come in and join us. This one is a frosted nudibranch. They come in white and pink. I see the white more often. It's also known as Alba lineata. And these just come through with the rest of the water in the filtration system and plankton, and they are one of our naturally settling organisms. Right now, we also have a lot of the Oh my gosh, nudibranch names, I'm suddenly blanking here. Are piranhas actually mean? Oh, that is a very deep philosophical question. But I don't know because they are freshwater. Oh, do we have any spiny lumpsuckers? Oh my gosh, do I wish we had spiny lumpsuckers. Right before kind of we closed up because of coronavirus, we were going to get some that had been raised up in another facility, and then transfers and then international travel stopped, so we didn't go get them. We did have one tiny juvenile lumpsucker come through the light trap, but we didn't keep it. And they are high on my wish list. And so when we get them, they will be featuring large in our Facebook and Instagram feeds because I really do adore them. Okay, and one of the other requests that we had was to check in on Pinky, who is growing, is big. So Pinky is over in Tide Pool 2, if you know what our tanks look like or which the names we give to them. And he's doing pretty well. Let's switch you around so you can see. Okay, so there is Pinky, quite large, and surrounded by mini flounder. Some plumose anemones there. Okay, and the other request right now is for octopus information. So we intentionally didn't keep any octopus over the winter. We released our reds after we went to winter schedule in the fall. And we had released Eleanor before that. Whenever we collect an animal, we think about the rationale for that animal. So are we able to care for it? What is its impact on visitors? And with the inputs for an octopus being so high, there's not a strong rationale to keep them when we're not able to share them with a lot of visitors and make sure they have a huge impact. So we don't like to keep them over the winter time unless we have a special project going on like we did with the documentary filming. We are planning to collect more of the red Pacific octopuses once we know when we're able to open. And we are hoping to collaborate with a UW lab, the Gyre lab, or Geyer maybe, on some projects and with a few other UW research projects into virtual reality as well, looking at octopus. So I'm very excited. We are big octopus fans and hope to have some cephalopods back soon. What do sun stars eat, Jay asks. So there is our sunflower stars, and so here's our sunflower star. We keep our one here in the kelp forest exhibit, and that's because one of the things that they eat in great abundance is urchins. And actually we've had a major problem with the sea star wasting affecting the sunflower star populations has led to booms in the urchin populations, which has then led to a reduction in kelp forest coverage, which is having a trickle-down effect onto fisheries and fish populations as well. We also have some other sunstars here in the exhibit, like our northern sunstar, who in the wild would be wanting to eat a lot of sea cucumbers, but here it does just fine on chunks of fish. How about the basket star? Yeah, let's go have a look. So basket star is actually a type of brittle star. And they actually have 5 limbs that branch out. So there's our basket star. It's kind of curled up at the moment. It's not out in its big feeding mode. But it's doing good. I mean, it's one of those animals, a little hard to tell what is happy in a basket star. And then next to it here, we still have some of our squat lobsters, which is another one of those animals that I love for just looking so incredibly improbable. Let's see if we can get, oh, reflections are kind of preventing me from getting a great angle on that one. They just have the, oh, there we go. The funniest long claws. And they're actually crabs, they are not actually lobsters. Yeah, sunflower stars. Oh, so this is a question from Jay. Do some eat sea stars? Sunflower stars will eat other sea stars, and sun stars will eat sunflower stars. And we keep our sunflower star, therefore, well away from any of our other sea stars. And our northern sun star is actually in the back. It did have an outbreak of wasting earlier this year, and we did successfully treat it. We think it does still have some lesions, but has held on. So there's some hope there for that. All right, well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Oh, all right. I think I'm going to be wrapping it up here pretty soon. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys had a good time. I'm hoping we can do this again, but I am also really hoping that pretty soon people will be able to come back into the aquarium again. So thank you for attending our Give Big event. Oh, all right, I'm getting some exciting news. We do have a challenge grant. So if you donate for the Give Big, we have a match of up to $10,000. So that's just doubles your impact, helps make it all mean more to us. And we really just want to say how much we appreciate our community and how important the community is to us during this time. And we miss our volunteers. I really, really miss everybody who helps me in the aquarium. And we just really appreciate your support. It is difficult without having the people around to help us fulfill our mission. And that's both visitors who are here to learn and see and enjoy, and all of the donors and the volunteers and everybody. So remember that we are reaching out, trying to stay in touch. We got a lot of things happening on our website, on Instagram, on Facebook. We've got some programs going on together with the library. Marley will be doing Invent an Invertebrate tomorrow. If you are interested in keeping up to date on what is happening with our light trap, we're posting Wednesdays on whatever cool we have found in the light trap that week. And we miss you all, and we hope that we're going to be seeing you again soon. Oh, and I think that this video is going to be posted once we're done with the live part. And so if you enjoyed it and you want to share it with some other people, please do. Bye. Thank you so much.